back to another YouTube video. So I have the braids. I took off my nails, feeling like a real basic bitch, but that's okay because I'm still bomb as fuck. But okay, so this story time is the time that I snuck across the whole entire fucking city. Like I literally snuck across the whole entire city. I went like 30-45 minutes from my house. Why I did that, I don't know. Okay, so this happened when I was in 10th grade. So I had probably just turned 16 because it was during prom season, and that's very important to remember. So I had just probably turned 16 and it was during prom season. So one of my friends had been dating this girl for a really long time, and her girlfriend was graduating, so she was going to her senior prom. But my friend was the same age as me. We were both 16. I think her girlfriend was 18. So she had asked me like, hey, do you want to come to her prom send-off with me? Because I like, you know, I want you to come, like I want to hang out with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. But I knew that if I asked my mom to do that, she would probably be like, no. But I also don't have the kind of mom that would be like, oh, well, let me meet the parents of wherever you're going. Like, she's never been like that. Like, I'm not saying she doesn't give a fuck, but like, she doesn't give a fuck enough to talk to the parents. So she's like, oh, like, okay, whatever. So I had asked her, like, can I go to my friend's house? And she was like, who? And I told her, I was like, my friend Bubblegum. I'm like, my friend Bubblegum. She's like, all right, like, that's fine, I guess. Where does she live? She lived really, really close to me, which is, she lived 3 minutes away from me. So my mom's like, oh, I'll take you. So she goes, she takes me to Bubblegum's house, and Bubblegum's like getting her bag ready, and I'm like, oh, what are we getting bags for? Like, I don't think I was under the impression that we were going to spend the night at the send-off, but I knew we were gonna go. She's like, oh, like, they got an Airbnb, we're gonna spend the night. I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, that's fine. So she's like getting in the shower, like we're just talking, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, like she's gonna look so pretty. And I'm like, oh, does she have a date? She's like, I think she's going with her friends just so that she can get like cute pictures, like whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. So then my friend's like, okay, I'm gonna order an Uber. Another thing, my parents, when I was young, I think until I was like about to turn, no, because I was taking Ubers to school, but they just didn't like it. Like, I would take Ubers to and from school, but my parents didn't like me taking Ubers because it's dangerous for young women or young people in general. So we were gonna take an Uber, which is another thing. I was like, but I was just like, okay, like, fuck it. So she's like, oh yeah, we're going here, and it was past the strip, or like right by the strip, like past the strip or right by the strip. And if you know me, like personally, you know, I don't live over there. Like 30-45 minutes if there's traffic. So I was like, okay. So we get in this Uber and we're going to the strip, and we get to a nice ass Airbnb. It's a house, it has a pool, like it's nice, it's big. We go in, her whole, like that girl's whole family is there. They're like eating, and like she's having like a party before the send off. So I think she was going to go to prom at like 6 or 7, and by this time it's probably like 4:35, perhaps. No, yeah, 4:30. So we get there, they're eating, her friends are there, her family's there. Her dad looked like Nipsey Hussle. That's to be noted for some odd reason. He just looked like Nipsey Hussle, and it was so crazy to me. But anyway, so yeah, we're like eating. I'm like talking to my friend, you know, trying to mingle. But at this time, I wasn't as like outspoken or like talking about as I was now. So I'm like really only just like talking to my fucking friend. So like we're just like, oh, like it's gonna be such a fun night. The girl's like, oh yeah, like when I get back, because she's like, when I get back from prom, like we're gonna smoke. We got some alcohol. Like, we're gonna like turn up when I get back. I'm like, bet. So I don't know if we were turning up at all while her family was awake, but I know there was a pool. We were just like out there having fun. Her mom was like giving a speech. The girl's mom was giving a speech. It was just like, it was a lot going on. So finally she starts to get dressed, and with my friend and just chilling. And I'm like, okay, like I'm totally gonna get away with this. Like, my mom hasn't called me, my mom hasn't texted me, my dad hasn't called me, my dad hasn't texted me. I think at this time, I think my parents were getting separated, so I wasn't worried about my dad because he wasn't living in my house. But if they were together, that would have been like a whole nother fucking problem. But he wasn't there because I think they were getting a divorce at this time. So anyways, her girlfriend gets ready. She looked really beautiful. She's like gorgeous. And they start taking pictures, and her girlfriend goes to the prom. So we're just sitting there, we're chilling, we're just, you know, waiting for the girl to get back. So hours later, the girl comes back, and we all start, like, all the adults had left at this point, and it's just like her friends and like some older family members in her family. So we start like drinking, smoking, whatever. We're like by the pool. We're just chilling for real. Like, we're just kicking it. And so at probably like 1:30 in the morning, I go to the room. In the way that it was, oh my God. So there was an Airbnb, and me, my friends, and her girlfriend all slept in one bed. My friend was obviously in the middle. But then there was another room, there was another bed in the room, and it was like 3 of the girlfriend's brother's friends. Like, it was the brother and 2 of his friends, the girlfriend's brother. So it was all of us in this one room. So we're talking before, and then we all like go to sleep. And I remember I woke up the next morning and I had to pee so fucking bad. But do you hear how many people I just said were in that goddamn room? You hear? So I was like trying to hold my pee, but I had to pee like so fucking bad. So finally I got up because I didn't want to wake anybody up. Finally I got up. I literally peed for like 2 minutes straight. I kid you not. I peed for so fucking long, and I was like, well, this is surely gonna wake him up because it was loud. But I like finished, and then I came out and everybody was still asleep. So at this point I woke up at like 9 o'clock. I think they had to check out of that Airbnb at like 12 or 1 or something. I don't remember. But yeah, but I was supposed to, my friend was like, oh, I'll get you an Uber home. At this point, I didn't have a job. I don't even think I had like a debit card or anything. So she's like, I'll get you like an Uber home. I'm like, bet. And the Uber there was like $10. This is like, it wasn't an expensive Uber. She had like a promo or something, like whatever. So she had finally woken up. Everybody woke up. And I was like, oh, I'm ready to go home. She's like, okay. She looks, the fucking Uber was like $40. I was like, she's like, I'm gonna keep it a book, but she's like, I don't have that much on my card. And I was like, oh my fucking God. So we're like trying to figure out how I'm gonna get home. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to tell my mom. But I had texted my friend before that and asked him if he could pick me up, and he hadn't responded. So I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, like, don't be mad at me. I'm all the way on the strip. I need an Uber to this address, like blase. And she starts going in, why the fuck are you over there? Are you crazy? But then my friend texted me back. He's like, I can come get you. A little bit too late. It's a little too late. So my mom sends me an Uber, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm trying to get my story together because I don't want to tell her I spent the night like on the strip or by the strip. So I'm like, I was telling her like, her girlfriend had a prom send off. We went last night, and then we went back this morning to help her mom clean up the Airbnb. Basically was what I was like trying to tell her, and I thought that was a really good story. And so the Uber came, I got an Uber, and I remember I started crying. And then I remember to myself, I'm like, why am I crying? It's my mom, not my dad. My mom is not like, as like, as my dad. Like, my dad, he wouldn't have been going for none of the bullshit. Give me your phone, take your TV out your room. But my mom, I feel like I could have like talked to her about it and not got in trouble. So I like stopped crying. I'm like, okay, like just calm down. She was like, put your phone in my room when you get home. And I told her, I was like, I have to do something for school. Like, I can't. And she's like, okay. So I get home and nobody's here. Like, no, my siblings were with my mom and they were all out somewhere. So I'm like, okay, I have more time to like make my story. So she gets home and she comes to talk to me. And I tell her exactly what I just said. Her girlfriend had a prom send off, and we just went to help her mom clean it up. And her mom said that she was going to take me home at 6 o'clock, but I knew that was too late because it's Sunday and I have school tomorrow. And I was like, I just didn't want to be there that late, which is why I asked you to get me an Uber. And my mom is like, my mom wasn't mad that, I'm trying to remember like what she said. She wasn't mad that I went. She was mad that I didn't tell her, because she was like, if something happened to you, I didn't know where you were. Like, I couldn't send anybody to help you. And like, she told me a story of like when she did like the exact same thing. But she's like, but I did get in trouble. She's like, I got in trouble. And she's like, I'm not gonna like yell at you or anything. She's just like, you need to tell me like where you are in case anything happens to you. And she's right, because anything could happen. Like, she didn't know where I was. But yeah, that's the story of when I snuck across the whole fucking city like a dummy. And I was fucking stranded. So yeah. Follow my Instagram at Jordan Araya and my TikTok and my Twitter at Jordan from Vegas with a Z. I have a lot more story times and a lot more videos coming for you guys. I asked you guys on Instagram what videos you guys want to see from me. That poll is up for another 2 hours. So if you have time, go vote on that. But yeah, bye guys.